Hello students, in the sequence of lectures of the e-learning classes, I am giving an extension of a previous lecture which is on the middle ear, and we have left around the epitympanic part. Let me take you to straight on to the tympanic segment. Okay, we have left here, so let me take a pen. Okay, we'll expand this and this. Okay, so now we are ready. So already discussed up to this point of anatomy. So this is obviously a very important part of a ENT practice, especially otology. In order to have a three-dimensional approach in the surgical field, in order to explore in the otology field, if you want to operate on the middle ear, so absolutely three-dimensional, the bony part anatomy, sorry, you have to discuss. You have to have a extensive anatomical appreciation of all the factors. So we already discussed the eustachian tube, already completed that. So this is proper middle ear. So this is a tympanum or a middle ear. These are all bony walls all together. This is the roof of the middle ear, and this is the lateral part of the wall of the middle ear. The lateral part is bounded by tympanic membrane. It is the only wall of the lateral wall is the only wall which is collapsible or which can give away. All middle ear is surrounded by bony structure throughout, be the floor or the medial wall or the roof or the interior wall or the posterior wall. The lateral wall, that too incomplete lateral wall in the form of tympanic membrane, is a collapsible wall. Collapsible in the senses which can give away, give away in case of an infection. So that is the reason you see a very common perforation in the tympanic membrane very commonly, because if there is an inflammatory sequence in the middle ear and there is a collection of some kind of a fluid, be a transdudational fluid or a exudational fluid. So this is the only wall which can perforate, which can give away in order to reduce the load of this inflammatory products in the middle ear. So opposite to the in anatomical sense, the middle ear opposite to the tympanic membrane is mesotympanum. The part of the middle ear which is superior to the tympanic membrane is uh, is epitympanum, also called as attic. Already said that. So the distance between the this head of the tympanic, the mid part of the tympanic membrane and this promontory, this bony prominence is about 3 mm, 2-3 mm. So this is a, if this tympanic membrane medializes, or you can say retracts, we can have a two condition of the tympanic membrane. This is a normal anatomical position. If that this is a normal anatomical position, if the tympanic membrane medializes or go medial like this is called as retraction retraction. And opposite to the retraction will be the bulging, or also called as lateralization of the tympanic membrane. So tympanic membrane, if there is extensive filling of the middle ear with fluids, then the tympanic membrane will bulge in towards the canal itself, which is called as bulging. This is bulging. And opposite to the bulging is a positive pressure in the middle ear. When we have got a positive pressure exerted by fluid or air, then there will be lateralization, which is called as bulging. But opposite to this will be, if there is medialization of the tympanic membrane, the tympanic membrane can collapse in the middle ear, which is called as retraction or a retraction pocket or a pocket. This pocket can happen in some part of the tympanic membrane, in some segment of the tympanic membrane, or completely the tympanic membrane may collapse into the middle ear, which is called as atelectatic tympanic membrane or adhesive otitis media. which is a totally different pathology, which leads to this erosion of the ossicles, and there's no space available in the middle ear. So tympanic membrane directly plastered on the promontory, which is called a retraction of it. Retraction is of various grades. A minor retraction uh, up to the sorry to the this head of the malleus, and second degree will be the long process the incus, third degree will be the foot plates, and fourth degree will be the if the tympanic membrane is plastered on the promontory. So this epitympanic segment is the most important part, because in the posterior part of the middle ear, posterior wall of the middle ear, this part will continue. Let me take you the first picture. So in the posterior part, this is opposite to the tympanic membrane, so this is epitympanum. So this epitympanum, by opening a perforation or a slit in the upper part, leads to through this adytus, leads to this attic, through a adytus, this fine opening or a passage leads into antrum, a mastoid, a large cavity again. So this all happens in the epitympanic part of the posterior wall So very important point which should be considered. And this is a small, this is a small, this part, this part is a small hypotympanum. This part is a small hypotympanum. It is the shallow, the hypotympanum is is totally depends upon the anatomical sense, and may varies from year to year, from ethnicity, from age, and sometimes it is even non-existent in some cases, a very small structure again. So epitympanum, mesotympanum, hypotympanum are the area of the middle ear which is you can say exactly classified because of the tympanic membrane approximation. So this is again a cuboidal structure, and this is meant uh, to have exact anatomical sense for various structures present around this middle ear. Various structures present around this middle ear. This is anterior. This is the roof. This is the roof. Above the roof will be the. This is called a tegmen plate. Tegmen plate. Tegmen plate is a bony plate which differentiate the middle ear from the brain cavity. Brain cavity. You have got a dura, arachnoid, and pia, and the proper gray matter and white matter underneath it. This is the posterior part. The posterior part will leads to through a opening. This is called as adytus, to a much larger cavity which is called as mastoid antrum, and inferiorly will be this venous structure which is called as jugular bulb. Jugular bulb. Jugular bulb. Jugular word means neck. Jugular bulb is a dilation of what? This sigmoid sinus through posterior wall comes like this. The sigmoid sinus is the sinus in which all of the dural sinuses drains, like a superior sagittal, inferior sagittal sinus, transverse sinus, and superior petrosal sinus, inferior petrosal sinus. All of the sinus drains into the sigmoidal sinus, and the sigmoid sinus uh, hugging the posterior wall, and forms this large dilation in the floor of the middle ear, and continues as a internal jugular vein. This is internal jugular vein. So the sigmoid sinus is a is a is formed by draining of all dural sinuses, and it is travels underneath the middle ear and continues as a internal jugular vein. And this is again the roof I have already described. So we have got dura, arachnoid, and pia. If this part of the bone goes away, then you can have a direct entry into the dura. You can have the dural references there. So posterior extension into adytus antrum is there. So anteriorly, we will discuss anteriorly deep to this internal jugular vein or jugular bulb will be again the internal carotid artery. Deep to the to the eustachian tube, deep to the internal jugular bulb. Medially and anteriorly will be the carotid artery. This is called as petrous carotid artery. Petrous carotid. So we have got a cervical, a neck part of the carotid artery. Then we have got this the carotid artery around this the sphenoid sinus, paraclival carotid, and then we have again a part of the carotid which is called as petrous carotid. Petrous carotid. So it's again a C-shaped carotid. Carotid canal is the opening. So we have got impression you can see through the this schematic diagram. This is the medial wall right through this, and this will be the lateral wall which will be covered by the tympanic membrane. This is the anterior wall. So we have got two opening in the anterior wall. You can see the upper opening is canal of tensor tympani. This is this canal, and you can see the impression of the muscle here itself. So upper opening is the canal of the tensor tympani, opening in the anterior wall, and the inferior, a larger one is called as the eustachian tube. We already discussed. So the anterior wall of the middle ear has got two openings. The superior one is called as canal of tensor tympani, and the inferior wall is the eustachian tube proper. So the roof is also called as tegmen tympani and extends posteriorly to form of the to form the. So what he's trying to say is, so let me take the first part. So this is the roof of the middle ear, which is which continues posteriorly also to forms the roof of editus and antrum also. So above this will be the dura arachnoid pia, and then the brain matrix itself. So this is called as tegmen tympani. Tympani in the sense is the roof of the middle ear, and tegmen anteri is roof of the tegmen is a thin plate of bone is called as tegmen. So tegmen tympani is the roof of the middle ear, and tegmen anteri is the roof of the mastoid ear sacs. So uh, uh, following that separates the tympanic cavity from the middle cranial fossa MCF. So anterior cranial fossa is all about uh, this cribriform plate, and posterior to the cribriform plate will be uh, the middle cranial fossa. The middle cranial fossa bounded essentially by the sphenoid bone anteriorly and posteriorly by the commencement of the occipital fossa, occipital lobe. Sorry, the floor, the thin part of the is separates tympanic cavity from the jugular bulb. So the floor is lined by this jugular bulb. So sometimes this jugular bulb in the sense is a dilation of the. This is a commencement of the internal jugular vein in the jugular vein in the form of dilation, which is called as a bulb. So the height of this bulb depend upon the anatomical consideration and may vary from person to person. Sometimes it's the impression of this bulb is way high into the middle ear. See, like this is a middle ear. It's a there is a thin plate between the jugular bulb and the middle ear floor. But this impression, the plate can go high as well, and even up to sometimes even visible behind the tympanic membrane as a red appearance, which is called as a I think it's called a red rising sun sign. Rising sun sign. So near the medial border floor is aperture. Okay, okay. In the segment we'll talk. So this is obviously the interior wall. So the upper anterior perforation in the wall is for canal of tensor tympani, and this is the eustachian tube. This white is the tympanic membrane, and you are watching it from the medial side. So you are not looking through the canal or through the lateral side. You are watching through the medial side. While you can say like I am observing from the middle ear to my lateral aspect, to my tympanic membrane side. So deep to this will be internal carotid artery. So this is a chorda tympani. Chorda tympani is a branch of the facial nerve. Branch of the facial nerve. A facial nerve travels like this is the branch of the facial nerve, comes from the posterior wall in a bony canal and goes through the posterior to anterior and exits through the canal of Haugier from the middle ear, from exits from the middle ear through the canal of Haugier. So, so again, this is again a schematic representation. Schematic representation. So let me shift this. Okay, okay. So this is a more of complex diagram, but very close to exact anatomical sense. So this muscle is nothing but the canal of tensor tympani, which is inserted on the handle of malleus by taking a acute turn from the medial wall. It is inserted on the handle of malleus and it retracts and pulls, you can say, the handle of malleus medially, medially, medially. Okay, so this is eustachian tube, tympanic membrane, and you can easily see that handle of malleus, and long process of the incus. These two are present opposite to the tympanic membrane. Most of the malleus and incus, this is incus obviously, this is incus, this is malleus, incus, this is malleus. The most part, the head, the neck of the malleus, and the long process of the short process of the incus, all are present in the attic part. Attic, again, I will reinforce, this is a epitympanum, epitympanum, tympanum. So in order to look at the epitympanum, this is a great diagram. You can see that the most of the part lies in the of malleus incus lies in into the attic part. You are not able, you will not able to appreciate it against the tympanic membrane. You have to go much higher, and the tegmen is present above this. So this is not, the tegmen is above this head of the malleus and this incus, and these are ligaments which fixes these ossicles on the middle ear, and so they are not freely mobile in the sense that they are hanged by these ligaments into the middle ear. So this is yellowish is the facial nerve, is the facial nerve, is the facial nerve, and this is again the chorda. This branch of the facial is chorda. This branch is chorda. This is the carotid artery. So the much complicated wall is promontory. Is medial wall has got different structures, different structures. So this is a gross anatomical sense of the. You can see these all are air cells. These are all air cells. So this is extension of the attic. This is antrum, and this is the stapes arch. This is foot plate of the stapes. This is stapedial muscle. This is tensor tympani muscle, and this is the facial nerve comes deep and appears in the middle ear. This is processes cochleaformis takes a turn posteriorly. The facial nerve like comes from the labyrinthine segment and then appears into the middle ear. This is the first turn and then goes backwards, and then turns downward. This is the tympanic segment, and this vertical segment is called as mastoid segment. And this prominence of the bone is by virtue of presence of basal turn of cochlea deep to it. So cochlea will be the basal turn of cochlea will be like present here, and the semicircular canals will be, you can give an impression, will deep to this part. This is lateral semicircular canal. So this will be the lateral semicircular canal. So this is round window. This is oval window. So we'll have a detailed discussion in the of the medial wall of the middle ear in the next class. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.